LivingEmunah, book number 2 by Rabbi David Asher, part 24, Retrieving Our Losses. Rav Chaim Palagai writes in Shecharei Lechaim volume 2 that if a person who experiences a loss or some sort of affliction is able to strengthen himself like a lion to joyfully accept Hashem's decision, then he is guaranteed to get back that which he lost. It states in Tehillim 32 and 10, "One who trusts in Hashem is enveloped with kindness, and thus if one maintains his faith even when suffering a loss, he can rest assured that the loss will be restored. The only condition is that he truly believes in it in his heart and does not simply pay lip service to this belief." Someone told me that just before a business trip to the Orient, an individual whom he respects came to his house and gave him a set of CDs on the topic of Emuna. He encouraged him to listen to them, and the man said he would. He proceeded to download them onto his iPod, and after he boarded a plane, he began listening. He ended up listening for about 8 hours straight. He enjoyed the lectures so much that he did not want them to end. Afterward, he told me, I felt so uplifted. I felt Hashem was with me, protecting me, and I felt how everything that happens is good for me. Nothing could ever rattle me. As he left the plane with his partner, he checked his email. He saw that one of the customers just canceled a $500,000 order. The very order that he and his partner were flying to the Orient to finalize. It looked like the entire trip was for naught, and that he was going to lose a lot of money. After the initial shock, the man said to himself, Baruch Hashem, I know this is for the best. He thought about how to break the news to his partner, who had not just listened to 8 hours of lectures on the subject of Emuna. He said to him, you know how usually when we get an order, we try to have it prepared and shipped immediately. But this time we waited to come here to work on it. Well, thank goodness we waited and did not produce the merchandise, because if we did, we would be stuck with $500,000 worth of goods because the customer canceled the order. What? The partner said in shock. They canceled. Don't worry, the man said. Hashem knows what he's doing. He consoled his partner with the concepts of Emuna that he had just learned during the flight. They did not let this news affect them at all and decided to do some other work during their trip. A couple of days later, they saw a new version of the product they sold and thought that maybe the customer would be interested in buying this product. They took a picture and emailed the buyer with whom they had been dealing. The buyer responded that their product is perfect and that he wants to place the precise same order, $500,000, for this merchandise. This style happened to be less costly to manufacture than the first, and so the man and his partner made significantly more money than they would have otherwise. As Rav Chaim Palagai wrote, their loss was fully replenished, and they received even more in reward for accepting Hashem's decision with love and joy. A few years ago, I wanted to download some material onto my iPod, but when I plugged it into the computer, it malfunctioned and everything was erased. I checked again and I saw that all the information was gone. Most of the material was backed up on someone else's computer, but there were 30 very important lectures by several rabbis that had not been saved. One of them had been downloaded just a few days earlier, and I had not even gotten the chance to listen to it. I was the only one with this file, and now it seemed it was gone. Nevertheless, I did not let this misfortune get me down. I reminded myself that this is what Hashem wants, and I should therefore be happy with the situation. Several days later, I gave my iPod to the fellow on whose computer my files were backed up. And when he returned it to me, all 30 recordings were on it. I asked him how this was possible, as some of these files had not been backed up. He had no idea how the lost files were restored. By accepting Hashem's will, I was given back what I had lost. I received an email from a man telling me that On a business trip to Manchester, he saw only one other observant Jew on the plane. He was very hungry and could hardly wait for mealtime. The flight attendant soon approached him to ask if he needed a kosher meal, and when he answered in the affirmative, she apologetically explained that they had only one kosher meal for the other passenger. The man remained calm and said, "No problem." He told himself that this is what Hashem wanted, and so there was no need to become upset or aggravated. A few minutes later, the other observant passenger came to him and offered him his meal, as he was not planning on eating it. By accepting Hashem's will without getting upset, he ended up getting what he needed.